Up next on the Midlife Mafia podcast. I think I always feel like I have to make it perfect.
OCD.
It's not only OCD.
CRAZY.
There's things that we do that a man will not do, like clean correctly.
Women have been pregnant since the beginning of time, but just now they're getting to be pregnant and not be fired.
But they are penalized.
Well, now the fathers get paternity leave.
Not everybody could be a parent, but if you give that life, that's a beautiful thing because there's so many people that can't.
So who should make that choice for you? A bunch of old men?
No,
or you?
So you should make that choice.
It's our body.
Right.
You have to live with it.
We've become a lot more now,
Right.
than what we used to be.
Yes.
We could wear pants.
Right.
I mean, shit.
Welcome to the Midlife Mafia podcast. My name is Christy. This episode, her rights, her wrongs again.
My name is Marietta. I am never wrong. I am always right. And when I am wrong, don't let me know it.
I'm Elle, and do let me know when I'm wrong so I can evaluate it and reevaluate.
Will
my
do.
position. Well, and then see if I really see if I have learned anything in our encounter, because I think
Probably not.
learning makes you a more evolved person, and that's what I want to be. So I'm always open to learning. It's fun.
We love you, Elle.
The Midlife Mafia is an experience geared towards women over 40. We're going to make you feel powerful, confident, and enlightened about the woman you are and what the future has in store for you. We are three very different women putting the Gen X spin on midlife, talking about finance and empty nest syndrome and fashion and maybe some things that mom forgot to tell you about.
One more.
Sports.
My mom did a lot of women's rights in my house. I have to say that. Midlife is a time of change. It's a time of reflection. Most importantly, though, it's time of growth. It's a time when you can use your past experiences to help you guide your future, because maybe you've made a mistake and learned something.
Nah.
And you can bring that forward to not make the same mistake again or to do something differently.
Who makes mistakes?
Nope.
Not I, Elle.
Yep.
Well, I think that still to this day, we are not looked at like we don't belong taking care of the household, even if we work 1,000 hours a week. I think I always feel like I have to make it perfect.
OCD.
It's not only OCD.
CRAZY.
There's things that we do that a man will not do, like clean correctly.
OCD.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, any man can clean my house because it's filthy.
Me too.
I mean, granted, I
on
have
that
someone
bandwagon.
that cleans my house, but
Like 5 times a week.
I just need to do it myself too. But no, I mean, like I've worked pretty much as a parent the entire time.
Absolutely.
And I think that I watched my mom take care of her family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the phone in her ear, but whatever.
We all do that.
But
Not all of
I
us.
mean, my mom just took care of my dad, but my dad provided for his family. And, I guess I look at that and I don't find anything wrong with it either. A lot of times I feel like, I don't feel like it's my place I just feel like we're better at it, maybe.
Well, you're better at it because you have OCD and you like it to be exactly how you want it to be.
I like it perfect, and I like the clothes folded a certain way. Yeah, that's OCD. But I'm talking about, like, I always thought maybe it was because we were moms, and because you feel stronger when you're a mom, like everything's got to be like your kids. But in the same sense, I don't know, it is expected of us. Like, I don't think a man has that because they're raised from people that didn't do that.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Your mom, if your mom does everything, you're not used to it. I mean, you make your kids' bed still too, right? So
But, okay, so if I'm home, it's not every day, but if I'm home and my son's working, I like him to come home to a clean bed. I do, so I make his bed. And I
so
feel
it's not
guilty,
expected of you.
but I feel guilty making mine and not making his. But it's not expected of me at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do that. My mom, would pull the sheets out from under us when we were sleeping because she wanted to do the sheets right then and there, or vacuum next to us so we would wake up. But look at that. Elle knows I do that too.
Do you really?
If I'm ready to clean something, it's got to be clean now. But
My kids would kill me.
Yeah. How do you feel about the sheets? I would be like, they just stay on there and I don't make my bed.
I think that sheets should be clean, and our chore as children, or what part of the thing that was expected of us was to make our bed in the morning. But if we didn't make it, my mom didn't. When we got home from school, we had to make it under her supervision. It's like she wanted us to learn the lesson.
Was she a drill sergeant?
Yes, she was. And she worked full time. And I do know this. I do know that she resented the fact that she worked full time, just like my dad did. And she came home and made dinner. I know she resented it because she said it a lot.
And I understand that too, because sometimes I do feel like that. Like, I work all the time. Now I do have a lot more freedom than I did in the past few years, where I'm home a little bit more than I used to be. And I just, like, on the weekends, it's like, husband's off. And it's like, I don't have a break. What break do I have?
I never have a break.
Right. Like, I'm still packing lunch at midnight. So, and it's fine. And you know what? I try to tell myself it's okay, because one day they're not going to be in the house. And
You're not right. You're not going to be packing their lunch.
So I'm good with the kids. But the husband, on the other hand, he has to learn.
Well, so I got rid of mine.
You said he helped out, though.
He did. He did.
And he cooks. He does it, but he cooks.
Eric wouldn't cook because we wouldn't eat his food, but he did clean up, and he used to help change the diapers, like if I had to sleep. But he would, I can't say anything wrong with that. He would do that. I mean, he didn't, he would watch the when they were babies, if I had to run to an appointment or something. It was okay. It didn't matter, but no, he wouldn't cook.
But the bottom line is, we just want to teach our children that it's equal.
I like cooking. I enjoy it. I enjoy making my son, my boys, when Mike goes home from school. I like it. I enjoy them when they sit down at the table and we have a little conversation.
But you like to watch people also eat.
I don't like to watch them eat. I like to watch them eat my cooking.
No, you like us, because when you bring it here too, you like looking at all of us to see if we're enjoying.
What do you think?
Yeah, so I feel proud sometimes when a meal comes out good. And lately they haven't been. I'm so sorry. I didn't even make the steak right the other day. I don't know what's going on with it.
I made a killer steak the other day.
I didn't.
That's why we have an agreement in my house, because, everybody prefers different chores to different other chores. And
Of course.
Yeah. So one of the things I had to do when I was a child was unload the dishwasher. Among other things, I had to dust the living room. I had to do all this stuff. But
God, I wish you were younger in my house right now.
I hated it. No, but I totally hated it. So we made a deal, he doesn't like to clean the litter box and I don't mind. And so I'll do that and he does the dishes. Whatever we made an agreement based on certain things that we prefer.
And a dishwasher is very important, because it's my last thing of the day.
Absolutely.
When I go to bed, I always turn it on and I start the dishes. But Michael gets up earlier than all of us usually, so he actually unloads it.
So when he
teach you how to unload my
when he unloads it, do you move stuff around?
No, he's actually perfect. Danny, on the other hand, you'll never find the spoon that he put somewhere. You'll never know where he put it. Best thing is, he's the one who used it and took it from that place. So that's one of the things. But Michael, because his cups are in there, and he needs them for school or whatever, so that's why he does empty. But he'll empty. Michael's perfect. He's going to be a perfect husband, my son.
Sure, we'll take one cup out of the dishwasher and close it up.
Oh, no, see, I hate that, but I
hate that too.
That's clean. You switch the thing to clean or dirty. Because because you don't know how many times I didn't empty the whole thing out, and then they threw dirty stuff in that, so now I got to wash the whole thing over.
I don't see the sense of opening, unless you're really pressed for time. I will never open the dishwasher and just not, I'll be like, oh God, I need this cup, and then I'll have to unload the whole thing.
You're giving yourself a cup of hot coffee in that clean, hot cup. I mean, it's amazing.
But I know that the perception of your gender role is what you saw as a child.
Absolutely.
How your parents were. And what you see, it's funny because my dad grew up without a father. He learned how to be a man through John Wayne movies. So, he learned the very macho, masculine way. He always loved, Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that stuff. Like he loved all that stuff, and that's kind of where he took his. And I think my brother kind of thought that maybe he could never live up to that because nobody can, because it's not a real person.
And I do believe it's what the household you grew up in. And, it passes from generation to generation. I think our kids are pretty good. They'll be a little bit different. Even traditions, stuff like that, things change as the years go on. So, I think it'll be okay. I mean, I'm curious to how you feel your daughter will be, because we don't have daughters. So, like, how do you think she will feel as far as that?
Well, I already know how she feels about some things. And it's funny because when I was younger, I felt like I was equal. I always felt like I was equal. I was treated the same. Everything in my house was fair, And my mom once told me, listen, she was saying something about, women's rights or something. And I said, Mom, we're already equal. And she goes, that's when you lose them. When you take your eye off the ball, that's when they start taking things away from you. So never think that. So fast forward to now, many years later, my daughter is very concerned about her role in society. And she's constantly accusing my son of having white male privilege. Like, he doesn't even know what that is. He doesn't even know where his shoe is. Like,
I could actually see your son going...
Right, which he does. But, she's like, white male privilege. I'm like, oh, God.
I used to tell Michael that. I want to see if that works out.
Wow.
But I like the fact that she is, an advocate for herself. And now my daughter is actually in the here and now generation that we're not used to, that everyone has their own opinion on, where gender doesn't break down to just two, it breaks down to like all this other stuff. So, and she's very supportive of all this other stuff too. So I have to be careful sometimes what I say to her.
Absolutely.
Because I know
you do.
Yeah. I know how I feel, but it's archaic what I feel because, those things keep evolving. That's evolution of society, and you have to keep up on it. And you can, if you want, be the person that says, I don't accept this, but I don't think that's going to do anybody any good because it's going to evolve whether you like it or not.
Well, I kind of think that in her upbringing now, because everything's all over the place and it doesn't feel, anything could happen at any minute, anytime. I feel like that. I do, like anything could be taken away tomorrow. And I think that will help her in the workforce and stuff like that, where we know it's a problem still.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. We know that at work it's just not, I'm a boss.
I was just going to say, you're a boss, so you know even more.
I'm a woman, but, I understand, but I know the requirements that you're supposed, like, of certain things. And, I don't believe that anybody should tell us who to hire, when to hire. And I think the most qualified person is the one that should be in the position that you're hiring for. But in big companies, it doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And, I give everybody a shot. I'm a different type of person anyway. If something like, have no experience, but I think she's going to be something good with the podcast. I have reasons when I hire somebody with no experience and stuff like that. But, in corporate America, it's still a man's world. Whatever way you want to look at it. The salaries are not, equal.
No.
Right. So.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're represented equally either in government, because if you see how many women vote and how many men vote, I don't think that percentage translates into who's in positions of power,
Right. Well, I mean, we do see more women.
Right. It's of course getting better because women were not even used to be allowed to vote. So
how long are you going back?
Some people were alive during that time. We have patients
What year?
It was like 1921, I think, something like that. But it wasn't like a million years ago. It was, recent. In fact, my moment in women's history is very recent, like so recently that I was surprised by it. I mean, stuff is trying to, I was listening to a lawyer talk about, and he was a very big women's rights advocate. And it's funny because he's a guy, and they actually asked him, why are you such a big women's rights advocate? You're like a man. And he was like, well, it started with one case and I saw how absolutely totally unfair it was. And I just went down that rabbit hole, and he was talking about, just now we're getting maternity leave. I mean, women have been pregnant since the beginning of time, but just now they're getting to be pregnant and not be fired.
But they are penalized for it, whether you think their rule is there, the law is there, but it doesn't always, people are being penalized for it.
Right.
But they're not just getting maternity. They have to use their sick days. They have to.
But
right.
Well, even the Board of Education does that. We've said that before. They're using their own sick time. It's not like it's maternity leave.
And I mean,
they don't have enough. If they don't have enough time, then they don't get paid during their pregnancy leave.
Yep.
So it's not fair. But
you're not sick. You're carrying someone's child. You and a guy.
Well, now the fathers get paternity leave.
Well, I have a lot to say about different things, but I mean, I just, the harassment, everything still very much exists in the workforce. I don't know. As far as it's not only a woman's thing though. When you there's a lot of discrimination all around.
Right. Yeah, big time with everything.
People are very competitive now. They're not so inclined to help someone. They're more inclined to compete with them and try to bring them down because it makes them feel like they get higher.
And feel superior.
So
I feel that you forget about women more because of a race thing too. You get pushed to the side because there's a lot of different things that are being discriminated against. And I guess we're not cool enough to be the top of that.
Wow. Speak for yourselves.
I mean, over 100 years that women have been, trying to not be property.
Well, now I think the men need us to work.
Right. Yeah, that's a part of it.
Nothing with
right.
Two-person household work.
That's a big part of it is that, the economy is such that you need both parents
and
to work.
And since they can't give birth, well,
speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, in the movie, he was pregnant.
So since it's Women's History Month, I have, instead of the Menopause Minute, I have a moment in women's history. And I think this is fairly recent. In 1989, there was a lawsuit. It was Price Waterhouse versus Hopkins. And what it established was that it is illegal to punish women based on their gender stereotypes, like not being feminine enough. What actually happened in the case was this woman was offered a promotion. There were like 7 women working there and 300 men working there. And the woman was offered a promotion and she got passed over it, and then she wasn't offered the promotion again. Like another opening came up and she wasn't offered it again. And she worked very hard. She had worked there for 20 years. She was, and so she took them to court. And the case, it was an interesting case because what it did was it established that you're not allowed to stereotype by gender and not looking feminine enough, in the role. Seriously, that's what it said. But it placed the burden of guilt on the woman. So if you ever go down that road, you have to prove that you deserved it more than whoever got it. So, I mean, it did come up in court and it did have its day, and it's amazing that it had to be brought up in court anyway. You would always think that the more qualified person would get the job.
Well, you still think that, and it's never, and the case still to this day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And the burden of proof is on you to prove that if you were a guy, you would have gotten the job. And that's impossible.
Why should we have to prove
right.
our worth?
Right. That's like impossible. I mean, you can prove all you want, but they're going to do what they're going to do.
Absolutely.
So, but that was as recently as 1989. So, I mean, it's still...
That is new. That's fairly new.
It's still evolving, and these lawsuits are still coming, and,
I mean, that happens with education, with school admissions and stuff like that. And, women are not, priority. It's not priority.
And it's not only the men that have the bias, it's the women, too, that have the bias. Like, a woman can look at 2 people and they'll think something of the man is better. Like, it's just the way we've been, socialized.
No stupid people.
The way we've been socialized. I have a funny story, though. Do you want to hear a funny story? Do you?
Thank God. Depending on how funny. Let's see.
It's funny. So when I was a little kid, we went on vacation to Washington, D.C., And one of the things we did was we went and watched them make money. You can go and watch the U.S. You should do that. I would love that.
So good.
Can we get to take our own money and take it home?
Yes, you get to make money with your face on it at the end.
Oh, that's not real.
Well,
So-
that will not.
You go,
Really?
there's a catwalk that's enclosed in glass, and you actually look down on the machines. It's probably different now because everything with computerized is different. But at the time, there were big machines that actually printed money. So you would look down at the people printing the money. And my mom was wearing, and this is like 15 feet down. My mom was wearing a shirt that in huge letters said, "If you want a job done right, have a woman do it." So one of the guys that was making the money pointed at my mom, and he got all the other guys that were making the money in the union or whatever to point at my mom. And they were all, my mom was the attraction, and they were all staring at my mom. They stopped working to stare at my mom and point and laugh at her.
Oh, wow.
I would have went down there and said, come on, I'll join you and make money.
Just put some in my pocket, please.
But we joke around about that still to this day because she used to be very big on that because in her family, because it affected her in so much. In her family, she was denied advantages that she should have not been denied, and they were given to the boy.
Right.
And she resented that a lot.
But that does happen a lot. That does happen a lot.
You know, I'm never going to tell my daughter that she's not as worthy of something as a man because it's not true.
No, so a lot of women become teachers because they get the summers off and they get to spend the time with their children.
Right.
But there are also men that are teachers, that people just like to teach, and it is what it is. But there are also women that, are they scientists? I mean, we become a lot more now
Right.
than what we used to be.
Yes.
We could wear pants.
Right.
I mean, shit.
There's this woman I know you don't want to talk about a long time ago, so I won't mention any dates. But no, there was a woman a long time ago, but not that long ago. And she passed all the requirements to graduate from Harvard, but they wouldn't let her graduate because at the time they didn't let women graduate from Harvard. So as smart as she was, much as she proved
But why
herself,
do they let them attend?
she did all the classes, everything.
Did you do them online? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive.
But why? Exactly.
Not to.
So she could, but she attended, she paid the tuition, but she couldn't graduate?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, me and Harvard, we would have had a problem.
I mean, there are very smart women that just get overlooked for the basic fact that they're a woman. And apparently, according to this lawsuit, if you're not feminine, even if you are a woman, but you're not feminine enough, then, and women feed into the stereotype too. And you look at, some things that women do that you've worked with, and it's not that nice. It doesn't cast a good reflection on yourself when they're, making fools of themselves to try to get a raise, something that you would not do, as you told for Tony.
More women become dentists now, graduate every year. I mean, certain jobs, a lot of medical jobs and stuff like that. But there are certain jobs that but we all, like at this time too, when you say, oh, this nurse helped me out, you realize the nurse was a man. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're like, whoa,
Right.
Like, but I kind of love when I'm driving and I see like women construction workers. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
see, that's a whole.
It's a nice feeling because it's like you don't have to be a nurse, you don't have to be a teacher. You can do
whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Right. And
You just don't get the same pay.
Yeah, there's that.
Although the construction workers in a union, and it's all right.
Yeah.
Because each job
Do unions pay the same for men and women?
because each job is a set salary, each position.
Another place where there's a big disparity that is very obvious is in sports, I think. And you are an athlete, so you would know.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when you start out years ago, our teams, like I played on the co-ed soccer league because there was no all-girls teams, and I won MVP, by the way. But
And which one?
in my soccer team.
Oh, yeah.
And that, but like sports like I played softball. Softball doesn't exist professionally here, but basketball did, that was a great thing. But still, the WNBA does not get paid like the.
Oh, no,
not even
not.
It's like a fraction. So when the WNBA came out, most of the players that played from college and stuff like that, they were doctors already. And because when the they were out of college for so many years already, except for one of the best, Cheryl Miller, who never got a chance to play that I would have loved to see play. But I did, me and my friends, we bought season tickets. The first, I think the league started in 1997. We bought season tickets in 1999. It was the first WNBA All-Star game, and that was in Madison Square Garden. My favorite player got hurt in the first 59 seconds of the first game that we bought season tickets for. So she was out pretty much for a whole season. And yeah, but we had a great time. There was a lot of fun, and they were pumping it up. I'm surprised it lasted this long.
Well, I can see that's one of the actual jobs that I can see the disparity in, because if you sell more tickets, you should get, your percentage should be higher.
I mean, they don't play the length of the season that the NBA plays. So they don't even play close to the amount of months that...
Why, because they're pregnant?
No, I'm just kidding. And I guess they get paid maternity leave or whatever, but... but most of them have careers. Most of them have careers. But so many women have broken barriers in sports. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys don't follow sports.
I really don't.
Yeah, you really don't.
I really don't. I like the Super Bowl.
My dad was very...
Because of the food and the gambling, that's it.
And this is a thing that's coming up now. My dad was very like, women are not strong enough to compete with men. Like, that was his thing.
Yeah,
but he was from a different generation.
Yeah, a lot different.
But now, I read something, and I can't give specific details because I don't remember, because I have brain fog because I'm in midlife.
I'm old.
But there was like some transgender athlete, and they were trying to say that since they were stronger because they were really a man at birth, and so the way their muscles were, they were stronger than the women, so they shouldn't be allowed to compete with the women.
But that is true. I'm sorry. You're gonna baseball. Let's take baseball for example. The bases are further apart in the male sport than in the women's sport.
Really?
The pitcher's mound is different from home plate because of strength. So if you get a ball thrown at you, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Can you box a man?
I can't.
Look, I love sports, and I totally wanted to be on the Yankees, and that never happened. But
Wait, I'm sorry. On the Yankees?
Yes, why shouldn't I have that dream?
You should.
Good for you.
I closed my eyes and thought I was.
With your pigtails? With your pigtails,
I was
cutting off the
I was too short to play basketball, but I was very good at it. And soccer wasn't a big thing when I was younger here. We lived
It is the biggest global women's sport, though.
Right, but in
the U.S., it wasn't that big.
No, in Brooklyn. Like, think about it.
It wasn't where I lived in Chicago.
What kind of fields do we have? We played indoor soccer.
Yeah, we didn't do soccer.
Indoor soccer. But then, like, now it's pretty big, but you're playing in Bay Park. They're not real soccer fields. If you go to Long Island, you might see more soccer. Even Staten Island.
Miller Fields.
Right, but no, it's not a big thing. Actually, professional soccer just came here, really.
Yeah.
Mel.
Yeah, and that's a totally, like, corrupt sport, too.
And I'm never going to be able to get tickets to World Cups. Doesn't matter. I tried. But, yeah, it's totally different.
It's in every sport. Like,
you think women should compete, men should compete in women's sports?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't be dangerous. I'm sorry. I agree with that.
It could be dangerous for everyone.
They'll do flag football.
No, but they play women. There's women leagues because flag football became so popular.
Yeah.
Well, can I tell you, the Olympics are on right now, and there's this guy on our Olympic team, and it was really very cool. He did some skating move where he actually flipped upside down, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Well, actually, like 5 or 6 years before, another athlete had done that, and it was a girl. And she got in trouble because that wasn't
appropriate.
That was a disapproved move. You're not allowed
so
to
now, is there different types of sports that maybe I would say to be acceptable? You play doubles in tennis, and they could be mixed doubles, right? So a man could hit a tennis, like Venus Williams definitely can.
Oh, my God.
Just tennis full as
Thick.
a man and be okay. Do you understand? But think about it like boxing, baseball, football. Who's going to tackle you? Can you see the size of those guys? I mean, come on. I'd be dead. I won't get back up.
Do you think that maybe, and I'm not saying
Your client.
recent in the near future, do you think that maybe there could be, and you've seen some of the women out there, so do you think maybe there could be a
there's
woman that
some,
could
but
play professional football?
I still don't think that our bodies are.
What about a kicker?
Oh, a kicker, yeah, but you could definitely kick. I think they could be women pitchers and stuff like that.
But against other women.
No, hardball, softball, two different things. So, do I think a woman could throw at the speed of a man? Why not? But are you going to be okay with the ball that comes back at your head?
And not all women, not all men who play the sport on every team, there's all these pitchers, have the same abilities. They're all different.
No, all different. And maybe baseball is a little different than football and boxing.
Yeah, but I don't think the coach could say, okay, you're a good pitcher, but that's a batter, and he's going to really hit that ball, so you should go to first base and put somebody here. You can't do that.
No, you should be able to play the position to how it's supposed to be played.
Exactly.
Like the same exact way. That was what this whole court case was about. If you are equally competent, you should be equally considered.
I'm thinking that case was about swimming, though, right?
What case?
Like as far as you were talking about the person that was in.
Well, the one I saw was specifically about ice skating, but I'm sure there's
swimming. And swimming, I don't know, because you're not really battling each other.
No, you're actually swimming on your own.
So a woman, I think that would be great. Okay, I don't know, but there's males for Olympics things and women. So
right, they separated. That's a very good example of separating.
I knew the girl's name. I saw it on last night on the news. She was amazing. She was the ice skater, the Olympic. There was two of them that won.
Two of them, yeah.
The one with the
gold
striped hair.
Oh, the gold dress. She was insane.
Well, I mean, I was pretty excited to see that the U.S. hockey team won.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very rare thing. They usually played Canada too, right? Yeah, so it was
Did you hear what is happening with the women's hockey, the U.S. women's hockey team? One of the girls who was on the women's U.S. hockey team has 3 brothers, so they flew to Italy to support their sister, and they decided to be the most ridiculously stereotypical Americans that they could possibly be. So they wore all this American flag clothing, and they wore all this stuff, and so everyone was pointing them out, and they're like, we're going to support our sister 100%. So then it was all in the press. So then the next day they decided to wear tuxedos, and they all wore tuxedos and top hats. They're trying to embarrass their sister in the most way that they possibly can. And so that's one of the things. And they asked her about it, and she's like, what am I supposed to do? They're stupid.
Oh, my brother. I've been unalive him.
So education is another thing where men often get opportunities in education that women don't get. And that's true. There are opportunities out there. There's monies out there and for research and stuff like that. And the research a lot of times, is geared towards men's issues, because especially if it's funded by a drug company, which I don't think research should be funded by, but it should be funded by whoever has the money, I guess. As long as you keep the results clean, which you don't, you know what I mean? They always have to skew it toward their products. But yeah, I mean, education isn't it's better now though. And the higher up you go in education, the more mixed, the more gentrified it becomes. The more the professors will be a man or a woman.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about healthcare?
Well, first of all, nobody wants to go to the doctor. So
no. But what about you talk about insurance and stuff?
No, healthcare, different women's healthcare. Women's okay, so Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
Right? Made it available for us to have free mammograms if you're uninsured and stuff like that. But what they didn't do is make us not be able to be treated for the problem.
Oh yeah, no,
Right.
of course.
So everything is but women's health is underfunded, which is Els always brings up to the research for women's issues. I think it's underfunded all around anyway, but they've taken a lot of medical.
I think that you nailed it on the head before when you were talking about maternity leave, and you said they have to use sick time. I mean, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
A lot of service.
Pregnancy and illness.
But we need early screenings and stuff like that they don't approve. The insurances control the healthcare system, so it's never gonna. It's not only the government that's controlling it, it's the insurance companies that we're not going to cover this and you can just basically die.
And they're stupid because women are so concerned about their health and they're so smart that they're going to be the ones that actually spend all the money trying to get better, and the men aren't going to go to the doctor.
That's the gimmick. They out of pocket.
So they really should fund women's health. But no, things that don't, I mean, when you think about who's making these decisions and who's in Congress, it's not a lot of women. Yes, it's more than it was, but still, these decisions are being made by old men. So, in a lot of things.
It's also a priority to us where it's not a priority to a lot of people.
Right. And if it, like, the little blue pill came out way before any kind of thing was considered for menopause, they just threw us in an asylum and called us batshit crazy, as Marietta would say.
Word of the day.
Word of the day is word
of the day.
But I mean, all the rights medically are not, as far as abortion and stuff like that.
You know how
it's in some states it still can't happen, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, and it's our body. All right. I don't believe in it myself, but it's not my choice.
No.
For somebody else. My choice.
You do what you want to do. I mean, I personally feel that something happened or you can't do it. I can never give a child up for adoption, obviously.
But that's a great thing for people that do choose that option.
Yes, absolutely.
Not everybody could be a parent, but if you give that life, I do believe that
that's a beautiful thing
because there's so many people that can't.
So who should make that choice for you? A bunch of old men?
No,
or
yourself should make that choice.
It's your body.
Right.
You have to live with it.
One of the things that made my daughter not get out of bed after the election last time was because she saw people holding signs that said, your body, my choice. And she was like devastated by that.
Well, I'm not going to, I don't believe in it for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm against it used as birth control, and religiously I don't believe in it, but it's your body.
Right.
And we do sometimes the wrong parents have kids.
Yep.
And they don't treat them right. And some people do drugs during their pregnancy.
Right.
So they didn't really care about that kid either. They don't care about the problem
No, they don't
that
care.
kid's going to have. But still don't think it's a right to do that. But you have to live with your choices. It's your body, your choice, and you got to live with it.
And I think that's how it should be portrayed. Instead, it isn't being portrayed as an issue about choice. It's being portrayed as an issue about life and death. That's how it.
Because to a lot of people, it's serious because it is growing inside of you.
Right.
And I do battle with that.
And it's
I
not
think
growing inside of a man.
Life. It's a life, 100%.
It's a life,
Eventually, it's a life.
But like I said, you have to live with your choice.
Right.
And that's up to you.
Right.
Or because some people do use it and then have a kid a few years later, and that's something that you got to live with. And I don't know.
Not everybody is very happy to do it, I'm sure, who does it, because not everybody, there's nothing that everyone's 100% happy with.
Well, even like contraception wasn't around
No.
for very long.
Especially women's contraception. Men had contraception way before women had contraception.
Right.
And it goes along with the stereotype of a man is a stud and a woman's a whore.
Well, it is a stereotype.
No, that's a stereotype. You
can't do what a man does because you'll look like a putana.
Yeah. I just feel like it's your choice. I mean, again, I don't agree with it either. You sat there and did what you did. You got pregnant. Now fix it. But there are circumstances.
You weren't the only one there.
Huh?
When you got pregnant, you weren't the only one there.
That's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother issue too. We just have to teach our children, you're not ready to be a parent, and
it's like so easy for men to walk away.
Yeah.
Like they can be like, oh, like your favorite show, Paternity Court.
I love that.
You are the father.
You are not the father. I even have Angelo going when he hears me watching it on my phone. He goes, another not the father again. It's like, now I'm on to Judge June.
Sometimes it's really sad though, because I hate it when they really love the child and then they're not the father. And they're
the men break my heart.
yeah, but then they're like, I'm still gonna raise this baby as my own. This is my son.
And I'm
this
like,
is my
that's
daughter.
a good man. You messed up, woman. And then there's like 4 possible fathers.
And it's none of them.
I'm so interested in the story.
No, I was watching one show where there were 4 or 5 possible fathers, and it was none of them.
It's like my soap opera.
And the judge was like, yeah, the judge was like, are you sure you can't say you didn't have sex with anybody else
we
except
just
these
said
4
for
guys?
those 4 people, and they're not the father. And you said there was nobody else. Well, there is somebody else.
Wow.
Yeah, it's constant. I love that show. Lauren Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I just started reading, and this is kind of on topic and kind of off topic. You know, the girl who wrote the book of her Jeffrey Epstein experience, and then later, you know, she was. But her book, she was one of those girls that was like a victim from childhood. You know, and there are people, bad things happen to her all along the way. So her choices were based on bad things that had happened to her way before that, and
She really didn't have choices.
Exactly. She was too
Her
little.
whole life was ruined
Right.
over from some crazy person.
And before that, I mean, it was actually her parents that ruined her life.
Right.
You know, so
You read the book?
I read part of it. I'm going to buy the book.
I'm
'cause
gonna
it's so
buy it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Coming back to Christy's point where some people shouldn't be parents. Sorry.
Who, Jeffrey Epstein?
No, saying how her parents ruined her life. Some people that they can't have children and they want them, so have it instead of aborting. But again, not my choice, not my body. Your choice, your body. You do what you want to do. Very depressing.
Well, in her case, they had the kid. They had the kids.
Yeah, I want to know the story.
Yeah, no, they had the children, and then when the daughter, she had an older brother and she had a little brother. The older brother was with the mom from someone else, and when she got to be about 5, the dad started putting her to bed instead of the mom, and the dad started taking showers with her, and the
mom didn't know this.
The mom did know that, because of course you know that when your husband is all of a sudden in the bathroom with your naked 5-year-old.
It would never happen.
And then it went from there. So then the mother stopped being nice to this little girl because she was mad, and she took it out on the little girl. And I mean, from 5 years old, that little girl was ruined.
I think I seen something with her brother was on TV talking about it. And do we have the name of the book and the person's name?
I want to read this.
It's a really good book. I had it on my phone because I was reading it. The book is called Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting something. It doesn't give the whole title, and it's by Virginia Giuffre.
Did you send me that?
I just read the beginning because they let you preview it for free, and it was from the beginning. It's a fantastically written, very tragic story, and I haven't even gotten to Jeffrey Epstein because so much stuff happened to this girl. And it wasn't until, and she got paid hush money too, so it wasn't until she had a daughter, which was many years later,
she was fine.
that she decided that she was going to bring this out, because she'd never wanted her daughter to even be close to the situation that she was in. So she thought, you know what, I have to speak out about this because somebody has to give it a voice so nothing like this ever happens to a girl again.
That's horrible.
That's disgusting.
Well, I think this is an issue that we could talk about for hours.
Yeah, we could.
But instead, we should just show those men.
We should lead by example. Look at you, business owner.
Oh,
And I've seen you in situations where
I think I could go in a boxing ring with one of them. But I'm just saying.
I've seen you in situations though where where the landlord won't look at you and they look to the man to ask the question.
I said it's easy. You won't get a check. That's it. So, I mean, it's as simple as that. But I went through a lot of that. Yeah, beginning. But whatever. It is what it is. I always showed her who had the bigger balls, so it doesn't really matter.
And that would be Christy.
Absolutely. Biggest balls around.
With a capital K. So we want to thank you all, and thank you. Please subscribe and follow us on all socials.
And thank you that we have surpassed 100,000 K.
We're actually
subscribers.
way ahead of that now.
On YouTube.
Hung up our
Give
plaque.
us 1 million, please.
Yeah, we're
Hung up our plaque.
But we really appreciate each and every one of you, and we love to hear your input. And if there's anything that, we're always open to anything that you have to say or suggest, or if there's even a restaurant that you think we should go to, we're there.
Yeah.
Welcome to the family.